right, shalom, shalom. Call Hala Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash, Yahweh, being the true name of the Father, as the word English calls God. All right, Yahweh Shai, being the true name of the Son, as the word English calls Jesus Christ. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, along with the Holy Spirit who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect and to the brothers that's pushing this truth in sincerity, risking life and freedom to do so. And shalom to the brothers and sisters that are listening and learning. This is your brother Labah coming at you with another lesson in truth. And this place is finished, man. All right, it's finished. It's not too much longer, man. Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And you people that's, like if you're listening to this, man, you have to wake up. Or if you already in the truth, may, the Lord bless you, man, to be able to understand and keep pushing and endure to the end. Because we're getting ready to go into a serious phase right now. And I'm gonna show you nothing but proof. It's not the words that we saying that Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai gave us this understanding. But we're gonna show you in real time what's going on, man. While people out there barbecuing, bullshitting around, caught up in the Netflix series, just doing all the things, watching football. And look, it's nothing wrong with doing it if you grounded in this truth, man. But if you don't know what's going on in this world, you have to start waking up and feeding yourself with knowledge, because knowledge is power, man. That's how you free yourself from this world, all right? And having the correct knowledge of this truth. All right, so you're looking at right now, we're going to hit one thing at a time, but, I'm going to make it all simple for you. This is a United States debt clock. And what this does is tell you the national debt, how much debt that the United States is currently in. And it's in real time, as you can see. To the far left, to the top, it says U.S. national debt. It said 28 trillion, 935 billion, so on and so forth, right? And it's getting ready to roll to another 29 trillion. It's getting ready to roll to 29 trillion, rather. And what does this mean for you? All right. So the more money they keep putting into circulation, the more it devalues the money and makes it inflate. So that's why when you go to the store, you might have some milk was like $4.59 and it jumped up to like $6.59. But that's called inflation. You know what I'm saying? And hyperinflation, what this guy Jack Dorsey said is on his way. And I can see that's coming, because hyperinflation is something different. That means you go to the store one day, you're looking at $4.59 for some milk. The next day it can be like $14 for the milk. Then it can keep going up to something keep going up. $24 for that same milk. All right? And that's what hyperinflation is, because you can't have so much money into circulation because it devalues the money that's already in circulation. It's as simple as that. The more money they print, the worse off that the economy is, man. All right, then I'm gonna show you some later in the video that show you how much this country actually makes, and how much they have to borrow to cover them to cover the money that they can't make up in taxes. You know what I'm saying? So let's get straight into it and make it simple as I possibly can. All right, so let's get into this video. It's like, all right, we about to get into this video. I want you to pay close attention to what's getting ready to happen. And he's going to explain it very simply. Then I'm going to show you another video that's showing in real time how inflation and some hyperinflation is kind of going on right now to a certain degree. Let's get into this.
Saw that last year as well. So there's a fundamental problem. The problem is that the U.S. spends about $7 trillion a year, and the U.S. government brings in less than $4 trillion a year, so it has to borrow money.
So you see that? They actually debt is $7 trillion. Let's back it up so you can see it.
To make up the difference. This is
back
the
up.
spend dependent on them for basically $7 trillion a year, everything. And we certainly saw that last year.
All right, pay attention.
As well. So there's a fundamental problem. The problem is that the U.S. spends about $7 trillion a year, and the U.S. government brings in less than $4 trillion a year, so it has to borrow money to make up the difference. This is the budget deficit. It ends up being borrowed, and the way the U.S. government borrows money mostly is by selling U.S. treasuries. We sell them to the South.
Right, so that's how they was able to cover the difference. But the problem is now no one is really buying U.S. treasuries like that, because it's not yielding a profit, like how they, once did. And by that being done, now the Federal Reserve steps in and print, they charge the United States, they give them money, fake money, you know what I'm saying? And like they charge them interest on it, and that causes inflation. All right. So out of that 7 trillion, 3 trillion is covered through, almost 4 trillion through taxes, like you. And then the other 3 trillion is some change they have to borrow through the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve is not a part of the United States government, man. A lot of people don't know that. Our people just, you need to wake up, man. Our people just like going to work, cashing their check, going to the next week, partying on the weekend. Them days over with, man. You gotta take life serious right now. Understand what's going on. You have to understand the economy. All right. So things won't catch you off guard. But this is coming, and I believe what this guy is saying, Jack Dorsey. Hyperinflation is coming because let's get into what he said. Let's get into the next video, and I'm gonna show you this real quick. Okay, we about to get into this video to show you this is actually a grocery store. I'm not sure where is it located at, what part of the country. You know what I'm saying? But check this out.
What the fuck is this?
Look at that. That's like a brisket or something, like $235, man. And that's the signs of hyperinflation. So it might be a time soon when you start seeing this prices at your grocery store, man. We have to just see how it play out.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What
Is that $78, man?
is this?
All right. It's like you can get into the next video. All right, we're about to get into this video with Jack Dorsey. And like I say, he's the CEO of Twitter, and he's the CEO of Square. The Square, like payment, like credit card, debit card processor thing. All right.
Jack Dorsey sent the tweet heard round the world. He explicitly went out and said the one word that people in the developing nations always shy away from. He tweeted and said, hyperinflation is going to change everything. It's happening. Now, Jack Dorsey is not just an average person on Twitter. He's the founder and CEO of the business. He also is the founder and CEO of Square, a $100+ billion financial firm. And so for him to utter the words inflation, hyperinflation, people get real uncomfortable. But let's dig into exactly what he's talking about. So in the replies, we saw somebody say, yep, we live with this built into our mental models in Nigeria. Inflation is currently 16%.
Right. And like, again, that's why you're seeing a higher even gas prices are affected by this. In some places, especially in California, the brothers is in California. I know y'all seeing $5 and $6 a gallon. I think it was a place in California, so it was $8 a gallon for gas, man. Down south where I'm at, it's like around $3 a gallon. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna continue to get worse. I noticed the food prices too is going up. Some things are going up, like you can see a big jump on it. You know what I'm saying? But then we get into this guy Jack Dorsey. But hyperinflation is gonna wipe this place out because the whole thing, you can't keep printing money, man. You know what I'm saying? Fake money or whatever. FDRN notes, and there's no consequences behind it. That's why our people are celebrating these stimulus checks, but it's all a setup, man. All right? It's just nothing but a setup. But this place is finished, man. All right? This is second address 850 for many great miseries. You know what that is? Miseries, man. Miserable. Shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride. So these people are going to be, it's a lot of hell that's already taking place and it's getting ready to happen, man. It's supposed to be a crazy time right now. That's going to catch these people off guard because they're of the world. Like Yahweh Shah said, he's coming like a thief. He's going to come unexpectedly unless, you watching. And watching, that means you in his truth and you understand prophecies. That's what watch mean. All right? So that's it's coming down the pike, man. It's supposed to get real ugly. And all you can do now is get into this truth and pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Call on those correct names in truth. Stop calling on God and Jesus. That's not going to deliver you. That's all in vain. All right? Now people getting ready to see real soon what we saying is correct, man. Through the power and spirit Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Because it's not of our own doing. We didn't wake up one day and say, okay, we want to be a man of the Lord, a prophet, whatever. We didn't. That was already embedded inside our DNA. All right. So, and you're gonna continue to see prices go up, as I showed you in the other video. I don't know what state that was in, but that's crazy, man. But I've been noticing other things going up. Like I say, hyperinflation is a whole nother level, man. Like I say, it might be like $5 one day, then for a loaf of bread it might be $5. Then the next day it'd be like $50 for a loaf of bread. That's kind of what happened in Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? Zimbabwe. I think it happened in Venezuela as well, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So call Hala Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rachakwadash. Shalom.